Hi.
Hi. Hello, everybody. This is TJ from TJOmega.net. This is Metrocon 2018. I am sitting with Jason Marsden. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I could ask about so much, but I'm going to start where I know you the best.
Okay.
Where I first know you from.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to get closer, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Get as close as you want. Uncomfortably close. Intimately close. The first place I ever remember you from is Peter Pan and the Pirates.
Yes. That's a throwback. There you go.
Yeah. So that was only, how old were you when you first started doing that?
I was 15 going on 16.
So what is it like as a teenager with your own Saturday morning cartoon?
It was great. It was actually on every day. It was a weekday afternoon cartoon, like Transformers and DuckTales and all that. So it was awesome. Yeah, we did like 88 episodes of that. Yeah.
And opposite of Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
Now, was he actually in the studio, or was that one of those Hollywood will bring him in?
No, he was. We actually worked as a group. It was him and Ed Gilbert and very young Josh Keaton. It was a full cast of us in the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good man to work with?
He was a great man to work with. Yeah. Yeah.
I miss hearing him. So I love hearing
Same.
about him because the man was born to play a Saturday morning villain.
Absolutely. And he did a lot after that. I think that was one of his first cartoons. Yeah, he was Captain Hook to my Peter.
Yeah, because at the time I think he was fresh off of Clue and just after Rocky Horror, so that was pretty early.
Yeah, about there. A little later than Clue. I think Clue was like early 80s. We did ours in like 89. He would always, at first I didn't think he liked kids. He just kind of like wouldn't really talk with us, but every so often, like I'd be talking with my fellow cast member and like this paper clip would bounce off my head and he'd pretend that he didn't throw it, but he did. He did. He was always messing with us.
Now, I will admit, I kind of hate asking those, like, what was it like to work with questions?
Don't.
Because I would...
Don't do it.
Don't do it? But I've got one more.
Go ahead.
I can't help myself in this case. Here, I'll see if I can throw you off here.
Okay.
Schnookums and meat.
Schnookums and meat, yeah. Yes.
Because you were starred opposite Frank Welker.
Yes, man, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, that was a side cartoon to Marsupilami first.
Correct.
Okay, and that was only just a few years into your voice acting career. Do you realize who you're working with?
Oh, I knew exactly who I was working with. I mean, even before I got into the business, I would watch credits and I would always see this name pop up, Frank Welker, when I watch Gremlins or Raiders of the Lost Ark or well, Aladdin was later, but I mean, and in cartoons, the Real Ghostbusters, Scooby Doo, and I'd heard about him, I'd never met him, and getting to share space with him was amazing. And Frank is not only one of the most talented voice actors in our field today, but he's super nice, super sweet, and it's so hard to talk to him. You just want to talk to him and like ask him about his career, and he'll tell you these great stories, and then I'm like, oh, but you don't want to hear about it. I'm boring you. I'm like, no, you're not boring me. Tell me more how you did comedy opening for Loretta Lynn in Vegas, and he was in a movie with Elvis Presley. I mean, the dude has been around, and he's amazing. He just likes to do his work and play golf, and that's what he does. Yeah.
You have to ask other voice actors what Frank Welker is like because he doesn't do cons, he doesn't come out.
Right.
So
very, very rare.
Yeah, it's all secondhand.
Yeah.
So for all I know, he's actually a gremlin who's only 2 feet tall. No one else has seen the man.
Sure.
Just other actors. It's all a conspiracy. Okay, I have to ask about the Goofy movie, literally.
Sure.
Because I think it's law. They won't let me leave the room until I do. But it's gained a new life in the last couple of years.
No kidding, yeah.
It's one of those internet things where it's just like, wasn't that great? Yes, it was great. It's like how's it been in the resurgence of the movie?
It's outstanding. Everything you work on, it's like a carnival that comes through town. You don't know who's gonna, you don't know how it's affecting people, until much, much later. And we did this, it's like 20 years ago, and definitely since I started doing conventions, I got a lot of people coming up to me saying, "Yeah, it was my childhood." That's like the universal phrase. It was my childhood. This movie solidified, my relationship with my parents. I love watching this movie with my dad. It feels great. And now, there's merch, you go to Hot Topic and there's all sorts of stuff. Actually, I have Powerline underwear. I brought them with me. I don't know.
I saw someone walking around with a Powerline backpack today.
I saw that as
all
well.
over
Yeah,
the
so you're one of the staff members, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I have to ask about Skyrim because that game took 400 hours of my life away from me.
And you probably ran into me a few times.
More than once.
Yeah.
More than once. How many arrows to the knee, or did you avoid that line?
Which one was it?
It's the arrow to the knee. That is literally, you can't walk 2 feet without having a guard tell you, arrow in the knee.
Arrow in the knee?
Arrow in the knee. Everyone took arrows in the knee.
I don't remember that.
Okay, good. That's good, because you'd never hear anything else at any panel you ever did.
Yeah.
Because that's all anyone remembers.
Arrow to the knee. I mean, when I did that, it was 2 days of work, and they just threw all the lines on a plasma screen in front of me, and it's like, just read this. So I had no idea who I was or
Really?
Yeah.
I had to double check myself because it's a list of like 30 names.
Yeah.
So you had no idea you were playing so many characters?
No. It's a little sore spot there. Politically, they're not supposed to. In the union, you have to pay an voice actor up to 3 voices. Mm-hmm. After that, it's a certain bump, and they got around that by not sharing with me that I was doing many characters. They just came in and said, "Here, just read this stuff. Just use your own voice." And about a couple hours into it, I realized I think I just read like 20 different characters. So it was a little fastball they threw there. So I'm not, it's a little sore spot having worked with them, but I am pleased a lot of people play it and they love it. But I want people to understand, what went on behind those scenes there.
That's. No, but there was one character that was a little bit more special.
Which was?
Eric the Slayer.
Eric the Slayer?
Yes.
This is in the game?
This is in the game.
I don't even know his name. They didn't tell me. I didn't know he had names.
Okay. No. No.
Why is he so special?
Because the character was dedicated to a fan who passed away from cancer. About
Oh,
6
really?
months before the game came
Really?
out.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it was just a super fan they brought in one day and knew so much about the old games. Like, okay, let's just sneak him into the game here. Well, his internet moniker will become the character a companion in the game. And
wow, I wish you'd told me about that before I bitched about the job.
it's a nice little turnaround. Like this one you voiced that had very special meaning.
I had no idea. That is special. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So you get to take that with you now. Let the healing begin.
Hang my head. Stop talking shit about Skyrim.
You temper it now.
Yes.
You temper it now.
They're never going to hire me again anyway. It's fine. It's fine.
The other one's coming out. They're working on number 6.
They never called me.
No, screw them. Screw them.
Be upfront with your actors, you guys. We're on to you. All right.
On a brighter subject, tell me which was harder to wear, the Robin suit or Ferengi makeup?
Neither. I love them both. I'm serious. I love wearing special effects makeup. And I tell you, it was easier for me, according to Burt Ward. It was my costume. I think was a lot more comfortable than his costume. Because if you read his book, A Boy in Tights, I think it was, he complains a lot about how uncomfortable the tights were. But I loved it. I mean, like getting to play Burt Ward, getting to be Robin. It was a blast. And I tell everyone when I worked on Deep Space Nine, it was like the best 13-hour days of my life because I loved the makeup and it was hard to talk and hear, but come on, it's a Star Trek
As a
show.
Ferengi, it was hard to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
They carved these little holes in the ears so you could, but it was but like the hole was like here and my ear was here, so it was still just kind of like muffled sound.
These sonar dishes. You'd think that would work better.
I was a guest star. They didn't have that for me. Maybe for Armin Shimmerman. They didn't do that for
just
me.
glue these onto his head and get him out there. It was a fun show to work on, I would assume.
Totally.
I would assume, if you go in and audition anywhere for Star Trek, you want to be in a makeup chair for an ungodly amount of time.
Yeah, it was only 30 minutes. I was expecting more. Yeah, 30 minutes. They had it down to a science. I mean, you get there early, and they've already made up 20 extras in much more complex makeup than I was. And the head was already existing, and the nose and the cheeks, and the only thing that was custom were the teeth that they made for me.
Okay, that's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Because I remember horror stories, it's 6 hours in the chair. And
for some people, it was a little more arduous, but it was cake. I liked it.
okay, that's always good.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of time left. That card went way too fast, so let's get rid of that card. Yeah, the David Letterman. I don't have the sound effect here. I'll dub it in.
Perfect.
Okay, so long as we have time, let me come up with something off the top of my head. The first thing that comes up on your IMDb, or at least the first thing that I notice in Robot Jocks.
Oh yeah, yeah. First movie ever.
First movie, wow.
Yeah, I was 12.
Okay, how is it being in a movie when you're that young?
I had just started in the business really, and we went to Italy for that, and it was just all, you see behind the scenes stuff on television, but like you're really there. I'm really like in these big sound stages, and I don't know if your fandom is familiar with Robot Jocks, but before Pacific Rim, there was Robot Jocks directed by Stuart Gordon of Reanimator fame, and we didn't have CG then. They actually built giant robot feet on the sound stages for us to be next to in scale. I mean, it was outstanding. Unfortunately, I mean, it was fine. I got to be in the movie. When I auditioned, it was supposed to be the main character's son, and then they reworked the script, and I ended up being his nephew in another scenes. It was a short visit, but it was outstanding, man. I got to be in Italy for the first time. Need to do it again because I was too young to appreciate it.
Right.
Do you watch Dana Carvey?
Yeah.
He does this bit recently where he takes his family to Italy, and his sons they're teenagers, and they're outside the Vatican, and they're really like they're soaking it in. I mean, the Vatican. I mean, like all this history, and the sons are just like, so is this like all we're gonna do today? That's pretty much me. That was me.
Well, you're a kid. You don't realize what you're around at the time. No. I hope my audience is familiar with Robot Wars because it's
Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
Well, in my brain, like that's my childhood.
Sure.
It's like every time the promo came up, it was like from the producers of Robot Wars. I've never figured out what Robot Wars was. I've never seen it. I don't think it exists. It's a myth.
It might be under there.
Like Frank Welker, it's a myth.
He doesn't actually exist.
It's just a collection of actors who come in and just pretend like they can do any animal noise ever. It's 18 people come on to be Frank. But thank you so much for sitting down with me.
My pleasure. Thank you for sitting down with me.
This has been fun. Thank you.
Agreed.
Very much.
My pleasure.
So, I've got a lot more coming from Metrocon, and so does this man. He's all over this weekend, and you'll see more of him on this channel. Stay tuned. There's always more from Metrocon.